Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It is 7:34 in Chi-Town. What do we got going on? We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. We got crude on the retreat. Right, pulling back on the crude now. So we're watching UCO back down to 42.16 from 42.78, coming back down. All right, so we got our crude coming down here. Now, here's your CLs on your light sweet crude coming back down. As you can see here on the 30-minute, we were at 213 finishing there. But I think the bigger picture here, down 12 cents and down 0.12%. All right, so cooling off on the crude now. We'll see. It's just going to be really good to get rid of a March. This has just been a real I think I talked about at the beginning of March, watch out for this March. And it came in like a lion. And look at, oddly enough, it is trying to go out like a lamb a little bit. All right, trying to cool the jets here. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. There's your crude coming back down on your UCO, back down to $42 and change. All right, so we got crude pulling back. We got SMH on the move here a little bit. Coming back up here now. We closed at 379.59. We did trade higher on the overnight at 369 and change. We closed at 362.53. So SMH on the move here this morning. XLK is a little bit better here as well. 127.50. We're trading at 129.28 now on XLK. All right. There's some news out on Marvel. They are now going to be partnering up into sorts with NVIDIA. Big move here, 10% move on Marvel. I hope somebody of you guys got Marvel. I'm in there this morning, so I get a little kickback. So we'll see what happens there. Marvel, we've been talking about it forever. So nice move here this morning, back up to $96 on your Marvel. Cisco, I don't really know what's going on. Cisco, 77.04. We're trading higher here now. It's 77.56. It's been chopping kind of all over the place right now, but slightly higher. And looking at, and not quite take a day up, but we're going to be looking for Cisco to take that day up and keep it up. All right, see if that can happen. Couple other things. What do we got? We got McCormick for you freaks that like to smoke meat. I'm one of those guys. I am definitely one of those guys. All right, so I can appreciate McCormick. All right, McCormick's got a 2-1 inside day here. All right, so you're going to get this 212 back up. It's been kind of pulling back a little bit here too. Closed at 53.72. Looks like on overnight got all the way back up to 56.84. So they're kind of pulling it back a little bit here, kind of reeling her back in at 54.21. 54.21 still takes that 212 day up. All right, McKesson to the upside. We'll see if we can get some continuation on that. Tied in with the staples, which I think are better. Coca-Cola was good yesterday. Pepsi had a good day yesterday and held up pretty well. Then we'll see if the XLP can really kind of start to shore it up a little bit. All right, but we'll see what that brings. All right, so McCormick, these are the ones that were on our I'm sorry, on our gappers. Okay, so on semiconductor here, ON closed at 55.66. This one's trading higher as well now. There's your daily right there at 59.44. All right, we're taking that up here, but it's kind of been chopping as well. So where did we get up to? We got up to 56.85. 56.85. So where we close here, 55. So we're basically unchanged an inside day here right now on semiconductor. Just a slightly higher, but not taking day up quite. All right, so on A-Lab, this is another one that I kind of follow. I haven't traded it. This A-Lab. What do we got here this morning now? Yesterday's highs were 113.19. We did get as high as 102, so we're still going to be we're higher than where we closed. Okay, we closed at 100 spot 27, but we got all the way up to 113.11. All right, so currently trading at $100 right now. All right, so that one's going to be still a little bit lower here this morning. All right, so we got we're going to be just around yesterday's lows. All right, so we'll see with A-Lab moves down any there. ALAB in the news. Dell Computers in the news again this morning. I think this Dell is a beast right now. All right. I think this thing is really, really doing well. All right. I mean, this move to the downside is just the biggest gift in the world here. All right. So coming back down here at 163.01 on the triangle out. All right. Triangled all that out. So that's what brought down. Let's see if you can see my quarter. There you go. So there it is. All right, that is the quarter, and then you're looking at the month and the week here. All right, this is the day, and this is your 4-hour, and this is your 30-minute bar. All right, so coming back inside here today now, 167. What yesterday's highs were 173.89. We're still inside day on this thing at 167. All right, so we'll see what happens. This one's going to open inside day with Dell Computer, but good news on Dell. All right, so Dell's up almost 2% or 1.5% this morning. All right, Western Digital is coming down. I didn't catch the story on Western Digital, but Western Digital is fighting back from the overnight. All right, so Western Digital highs yesterday were at 287.53 on WDC. So it looks like we're going to be pretty much trapped inside there, 255. All right, so 255 in here right now. We're going to be looking to take a possibly 3-2 back down on the day. We're going to be somewhere around in here. Western Digital down a little bit lower this morning on WDC. SMH is on the move here along with XLK. Don't get too carried away. The diamonds took day up, but spies and Qs are still stuck inside. All right, so you know that. All right, SMH though is kind of a decent move here, 379.31, and now we're trading at 368. So we're going to be inside on this one as well. Right here we are right now at 368.35. All right, so we're still going to be inside day. We're going to be inside day today on a lot of stuff. All right, so SMH acting better right now. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen in a half hour. All right, so what else here? What else are we looking at here? Fortinet and that Fortinet and Fortinet. I'm sorry here. Get that screen up again so you can see that quarter. All right, new quarter coming tomorrow. Fortinet back up to 80.50 now. We closed here at 80.91. All right, these have been moving pretty good here. Kind of crapped out yesterday with the shooter down, but it's making up for it this morning here, coming right back up to 80.49. All right, so we'll see if Fortnite can get that continuation with CrowdStrike. Those two have been going along pretty good together. They've been hanging out with each other for a while now. All right, CrowdStrike. There you go. Kind of gave it up at the end of the day yesterday too. They really break them down yesterday at the end of the day. That was the pickings. There was some pickings yesterday at the end of the day. They were just driving them down. And that's where we put in those lows, and we'll talk about those futures. All right, CrowdStrike. Where are we at right now? We're at 388.27, 388.27, so we're inside day there. All right, another one that's stuck inside day. All right, we got a ton of them. I talked about Marvel, right? Let's see what else here we got going on here. All the airlines are all better this morning here. Delta's on the move here. All right, got up to 65.10 yesterday. Another one that's going to be inside day, but they're kind of moving. All right, United Airlines is moving a little bit, probably stuck inside day as well. 89.16. We're trading at 87 and change, so we're inside day there on the airlines. But they're moving up. They're moving up here a little bit, right? And we got Love. All right, LUV. Same story with the Love. Love where it's coming from on the morning, on the broadening formation on the daily. All right, so we'll see what happens with that guy. Gonna have to 37.42. It got as high as 37.23. So airlines better, but inside day. A lot of stuff inside day. Okay, just the way it's going to be. A couple of names that I have just on these gapper lists are here. APLS. This is a pharmaceutical company. All right, Apellis is what this thing's called. 2 up on yesterday, got up to 17.30, trading at $44. All right, so this guy's gonna have a big opening today. I can't even get there. All right, we're going to have to go up to here, guys. We're looking at 40.25 right now. All right, so 40.25. You're going to have a big move to the upside here on Apellis. We'll see if that can see what that happens with that guy. All right, APLS. That's a big mover there this morning. Microsoft a little bit better. I think that the lag 7 continues to be a laggard. Microsoft is down 30% for the year, maybe 29. It's crazy. All right, so we have no idea how to get into Microsoft at this point. All right, I mean she's going to triangle out. She's been triangling out forever. All right, where do we get in? That one's going to be a tough one, man. We're going to have to see a month move on that thing. All right, Microsoft, that whole group, Tesla. Tesla got close to 355 yesterday. All right, trading at 360 right now, $5 higher here. 360.63, and you're 367. You're still stuck inside day. All right, so I mean Tesla at 360. It sounds like it's a great deal until you buy it. All right, and then you'll find out. You don't know what it's worth until you buy it. Once you buy it, then you really know what it's worth. All right, so let's kind of go to the futures. Nasdaq is poised to have a good opening here, folks. All right, NQs. We're back up into this. Where are we at here now? As of right now, we'd be opening up about 265 points. That's going to be a little bit of over 1%, like 1.1% to the upside. All right, going up on the Nasdaq. We would my numbers don't come. My numbers still is a little higher here. All right, so right now we went up to 23,440. All right, we're trading at 23,409 right now. All right, so I would say that somewhere around this 23.7, I think you're going to get a little bit resistant up at 23.7, which is a bit of a move up to the upside from there. But we'll see if the Nasdaq could see if it could hold the gains that they give us this morning. On the MYMs too, better here today as well. It looks like the Dow's going to open up pretty good here this morning. On the MYMs right now, we're like over 400 points and change. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, so up 1.14%. trading currently at 45,977. So we're looking to get back up through 46,000 and to see if we can hold those gains there. We're still so far away from the move to the upside that we had at 50,600, right? So 50,600 was our was our move on the DJI on your Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, so yeah, 50,512. Okay, that was our high right there on the quarter. As you still see, we've got a lot to try to get these things back up. All right, this is not going to be an easy. This ain't no walk in the park. All right, so on the daily, 45.6. All right, 45.6 to try to get back up, and we're trading at 45.4 right now. All right, so a little bit better there. SPX is trading right there at that 63.20 area. We'll see what the SPY does. We're not quite taking day, but we're getting a little bit, maybe a little bit closer here as we continue to do this wicking. All right, so yesterday's highs were 640.37. We're trading at 639.31. We're close, guys. We're close to taking day up. All right. I'm cautiously happy. All right, because maybe we start to get some. Now we're probably going to get that rally to the upside, and then they'll probably triangle all that out again, and then we'll see where they come from there. Okay, that's what I would say. I'd say you make this move back up and then knock them all out and then see where they stand there. All right, that's my thoughts on SPY. All right, so still trying to take day up here right now, a little better. Keeps kind of finding some resistance up in here, as we can see. All right, but that's on the overnight, so it's going to be interesting to see how she trades in real time. All right, and then we got the diamonds. All right. Diamonds got up yesterday as high as 456.28. We are at 457.29. We're taking the day up on this guy. All right, and by 457.29. So we're looking to take out the 2-day pattern right here, which would be 457.50. I don't think we got quite there. We got close on overnight, but looking to take out the 2-day pattern here, and then you got troubles up here. All right, so then your next move would come up on this guy right here. All right, which would be 460 if you gotta keep them going there. All right, and on a triple Qs yesterday, I got so much stuff written down over here. All right, so yesterday we finished with the Qs at 568.05. 568.05 was yesterday's highs. And we'll see what we got here. 565.15 right now. All right, so we're a little bit lower back inside here. We're going to be inside day with the triple Qs. All right, week is still heavy. Everything's still heavy, okay? Still heaviness everywhere. But we're going to get a new month and a new quarter and a new we're starting the week here, the first 2 days, and then we'll get the new month on Wednesday. So it's going to be a little tricky with the week, but and we got a short week. All right, so we're not even going to work on Friday. All right, so Friday's going to be toast. All right, we'll see. All right, for Good Friday. All right, so Q's better. I wanted to talk. What else I wanted to talk about? I'm looking at some of I haven't noticed I mentioned too many things about stocks lately. I've been sticking with the futures. This is where we got to get it to. All right, and then we start to see where stocks start to get better again. Sats is moving up again here. I wouldn't chase it. Sats is making another move on the upside here, 1 to 112. Got up to 116 yesterday, 118. All right, got all the way, and it's a big outside day, so you're going to be trapped inside here. All right, so I wouldn't go chasing anything anywhere. All right, even with the markets moving better here, I still wouldn't be chasing. All right, so Sats is a little bit better. PL, man, PL so strong. All right, PL, GAT. All right, back up to 28.77. Yeah, it's still inside day, I believe, right? Oh, big time, $31 and change. All right, so PL, a little bit better. I was hoping to get a little better pricing this morning. Yesterday, though, it got all the way down to 27.35. I was watching it. I was like, no, not yet. We'll see what happens. All right. IRDM, expect that to get back up and running here in no time. All right, this was a nice move to the downside on Iridium. You finally got an inside weak red. This thing's been really moving nicely. And where is she at now? So yesterday, 28.31. Another one that's going to be inside day at 27.20. All right, so trapped inside. That's what I'm saying today. All right, be cautious. All right, there's a lot of things a lot of things might stay inside today, and we wait to see the 2-1s tomorrow if we see anything changes there. All right, we're not out of the thick by any chances at all right? So, but I'm naming names that are good. All right, so here I think healthcare is getting better with the move to the upside. It's been down forever, as you can see. It's been beat down on your XLV, beat down here like the rest of the market, but this thing really got creamed. All right, so XLV, this group might start to get a little bit better if the diamonds hold up. And and then we start to get the other participants joining together. Then we'll have a better move. I don't see that good rally going yet, but maybe down the road we will. All right, so XLV still down, but I like XLV here. I think it's a little better. I like the 2-1 here. All right, coming in with the 2-1-2 back up at 145.20. All right, so going to try to take that out. Give us that 2-1-2 back up on your XLV. I think that group's going to be good. I think XLF is good. All right, we've got to keep the financials. We're going to start earnings reports here in about maybe next week or the end of next week. We're going to start getting earnings. All right, so that's really what's going to tell us. All right, because that's what's been keeping this market up. The only thing, I don't say the only thing, but it's one of the very big things that has been holding this market up. I mean, this move to the downside is because of this this Iran business, but we also have a credit problem too, so be careful about that. All right, so there's not just more than just the war that's plaguing us, okay? That's the point I want to make. All right, so XLF, though, better here. I think financials get better. Robinhood is a good one. We know that one. All right. And then we'll watch the rest of the banks. We'll see what they shake out today. All right, so XLV, XLF, XRT. I like it. I like retail. Retail's better. I don't know what this means. It looks like it popped there, or somebody planted something up there. 79.65. All right, yesterday was 79.50 for the high. We got the 4-hour popped up here on XRT as well. All right, so retail good. All right, retail good. Macy's has been pretty good. All right, that one's been good, pretty decent. Now it came 2-2 back down. It had a little bit of a move, but, the markets have been super heavy. All right, so Macy's, Walmart back up to 124 again now. Trying to get back up to 134. All right, so Walmart held pretty good through all of this, I gotta say. All right. Now coming back down a little bit, it's jerking around in here. Shooter back down yesterday, kind of gave it all back to 123.19, and now you're trading right back to 124. I just don't. There's nothing here right now. There's nothing for setting up. All right, we're gonna watch the weeks and see how things shake out. All right. But Walmart definitely gonna be one of the better ones. Costco, I think, too. All right, Costco COST. If I could get the symbol to come up, COST, Costco. All right, so Costco, what do we got here? 2-1 and the month. That tells you everything right there. We're looking for that 2-1-2 month back up. See what happens when we get into April. All right, April showers bring May flowers. All right. Oklahoma's, and I'm going to cut it up with this here. I'm talking way too long, 24 minutes. Oklahoma beat down to 45-58. All right, the thing traded up to 187. We were saying, maybe we could get in the low 50s. Well, guess what? We got in the mid 45s right now, $46. I like it right here. I do. I wish it was gone lower. But I'm still not buying it here yet, all right? I think that there's still a little bit of residuals there. This trade is still out, some years away. So Constellation Energy Group coming back down with the rest of that group right now. So they have taken a big hit to the downside. But they'll go collectively as a team, all right? So when we start to see them move together, and it's the same thing with those CrowdStrikes and those Fortnets, you got to get the whole band playing. Otherwise, half a band sucks, all right? It's just not good. All right, so we'll watch our satellite stocks. We know those are hot. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on crude if anything starts to flare up, which would probably will. All right. This is going to still be a while before we get out of the soup here. All right. So on that note, like I said, airlines a little higher, a little better, but stuck inside day. Tons of stuff stuck inside day. Do not go running after anything. All right. The markets are still in peril, in my opinion. All right. You see all that red. We got a new month coming. See if things change. Be good. I'll definitely catch you in the afternoon.